All right, welcome back to the First-Time Homebuyer Survival Series. This is part 24, and we have finally made it. It is now closing day, and you are now officially a homeowner. So we're going to wrap this up, and I want to go over a couple things that you want to make sure that you do when you get those keys on closing date, because there are a couple things to keep in mind. Now, on closing date, for you as the buyer, there's not actually much that you have to do. The lawyers handle almost everything. Your lawyer will work with the bank and the seller's lawyer to make sure that all the funds are transferred from you to the seller, and that includes your mortgage funds, your deposit being credited, and any final adjustments that need to be made. Before closing dates, your lawyer will usually send you a breakdown of everything. That's your legal fees, that's going to be any disbursements, adjustments, any remaining balances that you need to provide. And typically all of that is handled before closing date so that there's no surprises. So closing date itself actually ends up being pretty anticlimactic. So one thing that's important to understand is the timing. A lot of buyers expect to be getting the keys right in the morning at 9 a.m., but sometimes it takes a little bit of time for the lawyers to finalize everything, so you might not get the keys until later in the afternoon. So if you don't get the keys right away in the morning, don't panic. That doesn't mean that there's any issues. It just means that they're taking a little bit longer. If there is an issue, your lawyer will let you know. Otherwise, no news is usually good news. So really, as the buyer on closing date, you don't actually have to do anything. You just have to be reachable in case your lawyer needs to get in contact with you, and then pick up the keys once they're available. And even then, you technically don't have to pick up the keys on closing date. You can leave it till later, but I'd recommend you pick them up as soon as you possibly can. Usually what your lawyer will do is they'll give you the lockbox code. They'll let you know that everything's closed. They'll give you the code to the lockbox. You can go in and grab the keys yourself. So that's why it tends to be a little bit anticlimactic. Nobody's meeting you at the house. Usually your agent doesn't meet you there, or your lawyer, nobody meets you there. The seller is not going to be there. It's just you showing up to the house, grabbing the keys, and then boom, you're a homeowner. A boring closing date is good. It usually means that everything went smoothly. Now, there is one thing that is best practice to do as soon as you can once you've closed on the house. Ideally on closing date, but if not, as soon as you can after that, is you want to do a final walkthrough of the house. This is very important that you do this as soon as you possibly can, because if there are any issues, you want to notify your agent and your lawyer as soon as possible so that you can get it sorted out. Timing matters a lot here. The longer you wait, the less likely it is that any issues that do arise can be fixed. Now, what you're actually looking for during this walkthrough, you're looking for anything that's out of the ordinary or not as the home was supposed to be left. Now, this will be up to what was written in your specific contract, so this will be variable on a case-by-case basis, but the biggest thing you want to look out for is anything that's not the way it should be. So if there were any fixtures that were supposed to be included in the sale of the home, you want to double check, are they still there? Are any appliances that were included still working? Is there any damage that was there, any major damage that wasn't there before? So you're not really going to be inspecting for minor wear and tear stuff or any scuffs on the walls that they made as they were moving their furniture out. Stuff like that is fairly normal. But you're looking for any major damage that wasn't there when you bought the house. And then you're also looking for any garbage, any furniture left behind. There might inevitably be a couple small things. It's not really something that's worth making a big deal out of, but if the house is still filled to the brim with garbage or anything like that, you're going to want to bring that up because it is supposed to be vacant and empty in a relatively clean condition. And if there are any repairs that need to be done, you don't want to try fixing them before you've contacted your agent or your lawyer, especially if they're major repairs. Again, minor stuff, it's not really worth making a big hassle over. I'm talking about if like an entire wall has been demolished or something like that. It's major and it's not the way that you bought it. That's what you want to be looking for. Make sure everything's good, everything's the way it should be. Check all the appliances are working, check all the lights work, the toilets, everything like that. Just double check everything is working, everything is fine and good. Now, another really important thing that I always recommend to all my clients right after closing is changing all of the exterior locks. This isn't mandatory by any means, but it is a good practice just because you never know who had a spare key for that house. Even though the seller is supposed to give you all the keys that they have, you never truly know who else might have a copy. Maybe they gave a copy to their aunt's cousin's dog to house sit one day and they forgot that they have a copy of it. So I just recommend you always change all the exterior locks. It's not too expensive to do this, and it's worth the peace of mind knowing that nobody that you don't want to access your home is going to be showing up. And while you're at it, also also check for things like garage door remotes, any smart locks, any security cameras, smart thermostats, any of those smart doorbell things. If you have any of those at the house, you're going to want to reset all of those as well. You want to make sure that you are the only one that controls any of the systems of your home and can enter your home at any time. Yeah, so closing date is going to be pretty anticlimactic, but that's good. That's a good thing. Just do your quick walkthrough, change any locks, and double check that everything is in good working order. If not, you want to address it as soon as possible. Don't wait for months to then go back to your lawyer, because then it's probably too late at that point. You want to do it as soon as you can. If you're not able to do it on closing date, as soon as possible after that. But at this point, the deal is done and you are officially a homeowner. In tomorrow's video, we're finally wrapping up the series. We're going to go over a couple things that you need to be aware of now that you are a homeowner, a couple things that you need to prepare, and that sort of thing. So stay tuned for that. And if you want the PDF version of the First-Time Homebuyer Guide, or if you just have any questions for me at all the details are down in the description. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.